Well, we've got cold air settling into Minnesota today, and a second blast of cold air moves in for tomorrow that'll drop those wind chills even further, and some light snow in between at the Clipper tonight could bring some snowfall for much of Minnesota, and the potential for a bigger storm next week we're keeping our eye on. Take a look at some of those lake effect snow totals along the South Shore. Most of the Bayfield Peninsula anywhere from 5 to 8 inches, but the winners, a couple feet around Ironwood and Guile in Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan. You get that northwest cold wind blowing, and it's just a perfect fetch there. Another place that gets very efficient lake effect snow. This is an incredible storm around Buffalo, upstate New York. 37 inches and counting, so already 3 feet for parts of Buffalo. They could end up with 5 feet of fresh snow when this is all done. It's just this unusually cold air blowing across the relatively warm lakes. Now, our cold air is coming directly from the Arctic of Northwest Canada. When we look at those trajectories of the current air mass, that explains why it feels so chilly. And wind chills are going to stay in the single digits all day today. So here's midday today, still single digits here, northwestern Minnesota, sub-zero. That wind is going to be with us today and tomorrow. In fact, the winds increase a little tomorrow, with even slightly colder temperatures. So the wind chills are going to be their worst tomorrow. Gusty winds today out of the north and northwest as this cold air settles in. But again, there's a second blast. You can see that wind picking up again across Manitoba. And again, this is just another view of where that air is coming from, straight out of the Northwest Territories and Arctic Alaska. So that explains the cold, and it's an unusual setup for this early in the season. The reason being some anomalous warmth here along the west coast and also across parts of Europe that will show you a hemisphere-wide view. But the good thing about this lobe of cold is it's only going to last a couple days. Sunday morning will be cold, our coldest morning yet this season, but then already near 30 by the afternoon on Sunday. So as I mentioned, here's what's going on. In Europe, we've got some incredible warmth pushing in out of Europe towards the North Pole, and then Alaska and the Pacific pushing towards the North Pole. That squeezes the cold and stretches it out. So that pushes air that shouldn't be this far south this early across the central and eastern part of the continent. And we'll continue to see this kind of stretching of the cold, it looks like, into next week. We'll get a break from the coldest temperatures. In fact, we could be near 40 still next week. But we've got just this anomalous, really bizarre pattern set up here of one extreme to the next. So snow showers move through tonight. As we mentioned, we got another clipper coming through. Behind this is that even colder air with slightly higher winds tomorrow. It's not going to be a big snow producer here in southern Minnesota. Most of us probably quarter, half inch, but there could be some 1 inch bursts of snow overnight in some of it. But it looks like northern Minnesota is where we'll see the potential for some 1 to even some 3 inch amounts tonight. And then it's going to blow around with winds tomorrow, 10 to 25 miles an hour to the northwest. Wind chills, most of Minnesota, including the Twin Cities, I think stay sub-zero tomorrow because of that wind and temperatures that won't get out of the teens. The winds die down, we clear out. In fact, we'll see some sunshine tomorrow afternoon, but that means a cold morning. Single digits statewide, some sub-zero readings up on the Iron Range, but look at the highs by the afternoon. Huge rebound, about 25 degrees. We'll be near 30 in the afternoon, maybe even upper 30s to around 40 in southwestern Minnesota by Sunday afternoon. Next week overall is warmer, still below normal, but I think we'll see several days above freezing. But then we're watching this possible Thanksgiving storm. The European model still painting rain, snow on the cold side. Looks as though we stay on the cold side of this thing. There are various scenarios, but now the American and Canadian models are picking up on this system too and shifting the track a little bit from where it had it yesterday. So 3 of the 4 of these particular models do paint some snow across Minnesota on Thanksgiving. Of course, it's a big travel day as well, so we'll keep our eye on that. Still 6 days out. Meanwhile, the cold. Upper teens today, tomorrow. There are those warmer temperatures, but the normal high is around 39 for this period. So this continues to be below normal, even with some of those milder days.